Hey everybody, it's Lexx here. I'm not going to put my headphones in. I'm just not today. So this video has to do with a dream I had last night. And ever since I was younger, I've realized that my dreams are very vivid. I've had dreams of the future. I've had dreams of my past. I've had dreams of my past life. I've had a lot of dreams and they're very vivid. They've been proven correct. They've been proven to mean something to other people, and I'm able to interpret dreams as well. And I'll do this later. I'm going to do a story time later of me and about me and how I've realized that I had, this gift from when I was a child to now. But we're not going to go into that now. What I want to do right now is have a little story time as well, because this is also... I have to explain another thing as to why I know that this is what I do. This is part of what I do. So before I start, I just want to say that I appreciate any other spiritual advice. I appreciate any psychics or any other spiritual workers that come to me and are like, hey, maybe this will work better. Maybe that you can do this, you can do that. Or I've even heard, she's too young or whatever. I need more wisdom. I do believe I need more wisdom. I need more wisdom because being older is a privilege. To go through so much and to be able to heal and to be able to grow, to be able to learn more about my gift is what I want, and which will happen. But right now, I'm very stuck in what I know. Each psychic has their own gift and their own way of doing things, and this is the way that I've done it. This is the way I'm going to continue to do it. I put my heart in everything I do, and being psychic is something that has carried with me since I was born, and I didn't even know it until later on. I put my heart in it all the time, and I won't stop or feel, I won't, and that's the thing about a lot of people is, this is my videos, this is what I do, these are my psychic readings. If you don't want to watch, you don't have to watch, and that's the thing. I'm not going to change for anybody. I'm from Houston. Everything that I say on the internet, I say to your face as well. It is not any different. So let me just say, these are my visions, and I really can't hear you. I have to go through this on my own, and I have to learn my own gift, because any person who helps with people that are psychic and do things like that are sensitive, they tell them they have to figure it out on their own. So I don't want to hear it, and I'll just block you because it's kind of getting annoying now. So I'm just gonna skip past that. I respect you, that's not how I roll, but I am a one-woman wonder, so just get used to it. So to start, when I was younger, this is whenever the psychic visions of mine were getting very intense. I couldn't even, I won't go into detail, but it was to the point where it was taking control of my life, and I didn't know how to control the dreams I was having. I didn't know what to do. And I was lost, and I wanted to help them, but I just didn't know how. I did help this person before I started doing psychic readings, actually for clients. Before that, I was doing more like healing work, more like chakra cleansing work before I actually started doing my actual psychic readings with people. And this is the point where I realized that I need to do it while I'm awake instead of in my dreams. So I didn't even write this down, but this dream, I was young. I was very, very young. I was in bed, and I went to sleep, and I had a dream. I don't even remember anything before or after the dream. I know what the afterlife is. I know what happens if you haven't crossed over. And I have another dream about that because I have another story about this because I had a lover of mine since I was 12 to about 18 or 19, and he passed. And we were still very connected. But I had a dream about his afterlife, and I helped him cross over as well. But I helped this older man cross over, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his name. I didn't know anything. I just felt everything. And in this dream, it was... Now what happens, I'll just say what happens in the afterlife sometimes, and this is just me speaking, I don't care, what other psychics have seen, it doesn't bother me. If they don't cross over, they're in a space where it's like their home, like something familiar to them, and their families around them, but they don't have souls. if that makes sense. They're just there. And they know now that they're past and that it's time to cross over. They just don't know how, because they're grieving over what happened before they passed, or the way that they passed, or whatever the case would be in their circumstance. So I walked in this house, and it was like it was like a funeral almost. There was people walking around in this house, and they were kind of mopey, but not really. It was that same scene of, it was people he knew but didn't know anymore. And he knew that now he was not alive. He kept saying, it was an older man, and it was like a bricks, and like a fireplace with bricks, like gray bricks. And he sat there, and I walked right into the hall, into the front doors, and on the left side was the living room. And in that big door, right there was the fireplace. So I looked to my left, and I looked at him, and I was just like, I knew out of everybody that he was the one that needed me. I knew that he was the one that had a soul that was still there, consciously there. So I went up to him, and I grabbed him, and I was like, is everything okay? And he was crying his eyes out, and he was an older man. He was a white man. I believe he was a white man, lighter skin tone, and he was at least 70, 80 years old. He was old. And he was crying his eyes out. He was desperately hurting. And I was like, what is going on? And all he would say is, I miss my wife, I miss my wife, I miss my wife, I miss my wife. Like he couldn't do it anymore. He missed his wife. And I talked to him, and I held him, and I let him know that it was okay to go, that if his wife is still alive here, that she's going to meet you very, very soon. And if she's not here with you, then she will be. All you got to do is meet her, you know? I was talking to him, and I was there, and he needed me, though, to help cross over. It was nobody else. There was like I was the grasp to make sure that I could help him. So I did. And with that being said, I'm an empathic psychic. I felt it all the next day, and the next, it takes a toll on me, and that's whenever I have to cleanse myself, I have to do these things, I have to make sure I'm okay too. But that's whenever I realized I helped somebody cross over. And that's whenever I realized I need to do this while I'm awake, because if I can do it in my dreams, I can do it to help people when I'm awake. So I started, and that's how everything happened. I didn't start my psychic readings on video until 2019 of January, I believe, with the Watts case. But otherwise, it had all been, with clients and things like that, and in my dreams. So I helped him cross over. I ended up learning how to, with help of an older psychic woman, helping to control things and, be able to know what I know and help do things with a purpose, instead of kind of being lost and not knowing what to do. So this dream that I had last night, I was walking with my friends, and we were somewhat familiar, and it wasn't even my friends, it was just people that I knew that were familiar in my dream. I didn't even know them. I don't remember who they were. They were just familiar to me. And I just know that we were all, just kind of hanging out, walking, whatever. It was like we were in like a little small town, like we all wanted to get out, go to a small town, and go walk around, just go shopping, do all this stuff. This little boy came up to me. Mind you, when this little boy came up to me, no one else could see him but me. So I knew, number one, that he's passed. And number two, that the purpose of that dream was for him to find me. He was, I want to say, he was up to at least my rib cage. I'm 5'4". He was about right here, but he was like a taller, maybe 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 4-year-old boy. He was Hispanic or light-skinned Hispanic, or just a little like olive skin tone, but he looked more Hispanic, because whenever I was speaking to him, it was like we were telepathically speaking. I could hear certain words like mother or this and that, but it was like it was it was like my mind was translating for another language or something like that. Like his first language is Spanish or something like that. Or maybe he had a disability to where he couldn't function properly and say the right words, but I knew what he was saying. He was up to my rib cage. He had short, dark hair, and he had brown eyes, or hazel, dark eyes. They were either hazel or dark brown, or just a light brown. It was something. It was darker brownish, hazel, whatever. His clothes were dingy. He had been walking for days. He had been outside in the woods or something for days, wherever this person is, this baby. He was dirty. He looked like he hadn't eaten, and he was crying. He was tired, and he came to me and he just grabbed me, and he was like, something about his mother not being there. Okay, that's all I know about his mom. But he kept on saying mother, mother, and like he almost felt bad for the mother, but I almost felt like, you know, did she have something to do with this, or was she not around, or what was the case? Because she wasn't there, and I was the one there, and he was alone. And it made me think that he died under not the right circumstances because of the way that he looked. He was in tears, and I was strong in the dream. I didn't cry. I grabbed him, and I know that because when I grabbed him, I felt the weight of, you know, a 3-year-old versus like a 6-year-old, or, you know, a boy picking them up, and how, you know, the kids want you to pick them up, but you can only walk with them so far because they're kind of heavy, being not a little toddler anymore. I knew that, but I had to hold him, and all of a sudden, it's like everyone else, they didn't know what was happening. It was just me and him. I could talk to him, I could see him, and I knew what was happening at that point. And I said, baby, I was just like, you know, I was like, look at me, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's fine. We're gonna get you where you need to go. Just hold on to me. And I held him, and I held him, and I walked with him like as long as I could. It was in a familiar place to me. It was a familiar place, and that may have been a symbol of, you know where you're walking and where you need to keep going. So it could be familiar to me. But I was walking in this place, and I was walking, and I knew where I needed to go. For some reason, I knew where I needed to go with this boy in my hands, and I was tired because I was walking for so long, but he needed me to hold him the whole time, and I knew that. I'm sorry. So I held him, and I was like, everything's okay. You're okay. You're not hurting anymore. Everything's okay. Just let me hold you, and everything's gonna be okay. And I went to this spot, wherever this spot was that needed to be, and I held him, and the next thing I know, he was out of my arms, and he left. But I know that he needed me to do that. But I know that this boy is real, and this boy is either missing or had passed already and hadn't crossed over. I need to know who he is. And if I don't know who he is, I need to acknowledge him. So with me wanting to be able to acknowledge this boy, I am going to say, I heard you and I felt you, and you were here with me, and you are gone now, and you're with the angels, and all the pain and all the hurt, and I'm sorry you went through what you went through, and but you're okay now, and I know you're okay because I felt it, and I held you when no one else did, because I don't feel like anybody protected you before you passed in the events prior, and I was there. So I feel better about that. What I don't feel better about is who this was. And I looked into it. Just to see if I could find anything as far as who it was, who the boy possibly could be. And when I seen the boy, I remember his face. And usually I don't remember their faces. But when I was talking to him and looking directly at him and telling him what I was telling him, that I had him and everything was okay and just hold on, I was looking dead at him. And I don't even know if I was looking straight at his features. I just looked at his eyes. And this boy, Apple Valley boy, 1 month after disappearance. This is an article off of KTLA.com. It's a news channel. And this happened in Los Angeles, I believe. So this is more than a month after the disappearance of a 6-year-old Valley boy. Police continue to comb an area landfill for remains of Duke Flores, who authorities believe was killed by his mother and aunt. On Monday morning, detectives resumed searching the Victorville landfill where they think the boy was dumped. Dozens of people, including homicide detectives, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department volunteers, and landfill staff have joined in the search, which is focused on an area that's 70 feet wide, 70 feet long, and 10 feet deep. Search dogs are also being used to scour the trash site. The Sheriff's Department has given daily updates on what's going on, but nothing has been found. And this is the boy who may be it. I just look at his face and I believe he was autistic. And so that, that could mean something as well. And apparently that's the grandmother, I believe, maybe the mother, I think that's the aunt, and then that's the mom, and that's him. And they are saying that the grandmother is making threats, and the daughters are suspected of murdering and tossing the small boy in the dumpster, but nothing's been found. I just had to let you know that. I had to let you know, you guys, about my dreams, and I had to get it out. Because I know a lot of you guys understand, and a lot of my supporters, gosh, you guys are amazing. You make me feel like I can say anything and be open, and I have an amazing partner right now who supports everything that I do, everything, and listens to me and understands me, but I had to make a video about it just to acknowledge him. And even if we don't find who this boy is, I know that I helped him cross over. It looked like he was in a lighter shirt, and it was very dingy, and he had maybe blue jeans that were shorts on, or maybe like khakis, but they were shorts, and they were like right above his knee. I don't even remember if he had shoes on, but I want everybody that just knows how to acknowledge somebody who's passed. Even if you don't know his face, just think about the little boy and tell him that it's okay and that he's okay now. I know he's crossed over, but just acknowledge him. Just acknowledge him for me. Acknowledge him. And know that he is loved. I will forever put my heart into this. I will forever put my heart into this. This is what I do for a living. I live and breathe helping the dead and helping the missing. It's my heart. So I will forever feel emotion because I'm an empathic psychic. I will forever feel that emotion, and I will let it happen. I will cry for this little boy because of how he wasn't protected. I cried for that older man because he missed his wife and he didn't know how to move on. I will cry because they deserved it. Period. So I just want you guys' help, and maybe we can find out who this little boy is. Send me pictures, send me articles, send me I know that he was dirty and dingy, so he had to have been in a field, like missing. Is that what I was thinking? That, or it was the condition that he died in, and that they maybe put him in like a dumpster or something dirty. He was in something dirty, so maybe like a field, a forest, something he was missing in for a few days. Anything that'll give me something so I can help, and just give. I know I helped him cross over, but I just want more detail, you know. And I can read into it deeper, but right now I just need to take a break and just take it in and take him in and acknowledge him as best as I can. But you guys have a great day. Usually I keep everything on a lighter note, but this one, you know, grown adults are one thing, and children, when they go through things, it's a little different for me, because being empathic and being a person, a human, I know what it feels like to be unprotected and to feel like you're not loved with the people that are supposed to be protecting you. I know that feeling. So I want to know who this boy is. So with that being said, you guys have an awesome day, and I will keep you updated. As far as everything else goes, just go to my YouTube, look at the descriptions, go to my Instagram, Lexx Intuitive Healing, go to my Facebook, Lexx Marie Intuitive Healing, and then my email is alexisfarbookings@gmail.com, which is also in the description. But you guys have an awesome day. Love y'all.